and welcome back to another Smoke Signal synopsis. It is now 2025, so let's take a look at what stories can be found in our first edition, the January 1st, 2025 edition of Smoke Signals. On the front page, you can read Tribal Council member Denise Harvey experienced attending the White House Tribal Nation Summit held Monday, December 9th in Washington, D.C. On Thursday, December 19th, the tribe honored 73 employees during the fourth quarter Years of Service Awards held at Spear Mountain Casino, which also doubled as the annual employee holiday party. The first part of this Salmon Situation series starts on the front page and continues on to page 6 and 7. This three-part series examines how the region's signature fish is heading for extinction, with little time left to reverse course and save these ancient species, which are crucial to both the ecosystem and tribal culture. You can follow along with part 2 and 3 of this series in the January 15th and February 1st edition of Smoke Signals. Another fish story can be found on page 3. Aquatic biologist and tribal member Brandon Weems shares the status of the coho salmon in Grand Ronde Agency Creek. Tribal Council held its Wednesday, December 18th meeting where it approved an application to the Federal Highway Administration to help with infrastructure improvements at Tumwata Village. You can read that story and other actions from that meeting on page 5. In a breakout box on page 6, Tribal Council member Matthew Howler discusses a possible tribal hatchery business. On page 7, a Facebook Live event was held on Wednesday, December 18th, which served to introduce the tribe's new Economic Development Director, Mike Culley, and to allow the Health Service Executive Director, Kelly Rao, to provide an update for members. Oregon Representative and Senators announced a federal grant of $20 million for the tribe's new Resident Recreation Center, which is now under design. You can read that full story on page 9. Smoke Signals shares photos and videos and a story on page 12 from the opening of the Transgressors exhibit curated by tribal member Anthony Hudson and tribal descendant Felix Furby, now on display at Chichalu Tribal Museum and Cultural Center in Grand Ronde. Tribal elder Veronica Gaston walked on just a few days before she can compete in the Honolulu Marathon. On page 13, you can read about the Grand Ronde Emergency Services emergency crew running an equivalent of a marathon in her honor. A grant from the Environmental Protection Agency is helping the tribe plan an updated policy on its use of herbicides in tribally owned lands. You can read more about that story on page 14. There are several photos throughout this edition from the various holiday events hosted by the tribe. You can find them on page 10 and 11, plus videos on our YouTube channel. You can find all these stories now available in the PDF version at smokesignals.org. I'm Kamaya, the social media digital journalist for Smoke Signals.